All right, we should be live. What is up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Happy Wednesday. Scooter got the first day one ask. And I'm doing this one because I don't know Macbeth. And I couldn't learn Macbeth lines. But day one of asking Danny to start the stream holding 2 PC cases. There's 2 of them. Oh, and the fan fell. 2 PC cases. And the 2 fans on top of each other. Yeah, they are the 2 Arctic. Which ones are these? F8. These are 80mm fans right here. So there it is. The day one streak of challenges continues. Ah. Oh! About to break these PC cases doing these challenges. All right. How's everybody doing? What's up? First today, we had a new first today. Demon Mitt, of all people, says, "Sup nerds." What's up, Demon Mitt? We got Johnny in the house who's answering the question, which is going to be the main topic of today's stream. Saying, too low is when you can't even afford an Optiplex. But which Optiplex? There are a lot of different Optiplexes and different generations of parts in them. We got, what does this mean, Chris? Thon, Thun, like soon, except somebody with a lisp saying Thun. That must be it. He must have said that because stream was starting soon. What's up, Kale130? What's up, Craig Lilly? Staying 2007. James Ray. Did you cook anything in the 30 minutes before stream? Or did you have to make a Hot Pocket? Who else we got? Donut Farmer, what's up? We got Import Race. Gotta start the stream strong. Yes, I did start it strong, and I almost dropped the PC cases. Those weren't just PC cases, by the way. Those were fully built computers, both of them. They were quite heavy. They are both mid-towers, too. It's not like they were ITX or micro ATX. Those were both mid-sized towers full of parts. So what does Black Friday price protection mean? What websites have Black Friday price protection? I'm assuming Amazon, Best Buy. One second, I think Melissa might be calling me. Let me mute the mic real quick so I'm not yelling at you guys. Okay. All right. Let's see. Star5328 says Z440 plus 2667 V4 16 gigs of 2400 megahertz ECC RAM, 1 terabyte NVMe drive, and a RX 5700 for $275 to $300 is probably the best recommended budget PC. So we're gonna take a look at some of the options and discuss them later as we get into the stream. So keep a note of that. What's up, Kevin? What is up, Nathan? How you doing? Firestorm, what up, what up, what up? Okay, so Jason, I just saw Nemus Texas cheapest would go for i7 6th gen for $100 PC. $100 PC and, oh, for $200 in the i5 8400. So some of those pre-built. Hey, can I use a 600 watt power supply with the RTX 3060? Slick Nick with the dono. First of all, thank you for the $5 dono. You did not have to do that just to ask a question, but I appreciate it. Maybe you wanted to donate that anyways and then ask your question. But yeah, 600 watts is plenty for that. But I mean, I'm assuming you have a pairing. What's the rest of your system? That should be fine. The graphics card in like 99% of people's use cases is going to be the driver of what power supply will support it. I don't know of many people who use like a graphics card and then just go all out with all the other components and a crazy CPU that makes it so that like a 600 watt power supply would not work. But the question shouldn't just be the 600-watt power supply. Just make sure you're not using like a complete garbage tier power supply, because that's more important than the like the wattage rating. So, yeah. Yeah, Demon Mitt also, and I think we talked about it, both in the Discord and on streams. A lot of people like the P520s from Lenovo as well. So yeah, we're gonna talk about when it comes to like really cheap PCs, the different options regarding doing like these workstation type towers versus DIY individual components, the pros and cons and things like that. So yeah. But for now, we're just chilling, waiting for people to get their water, to use the bathroom, get their snacks. Which, by the way, small talk for the start of this stream. Yesterday was Halloween. Did anybody do anything? Here is our leftover candy from Halloween. It looks like a lot of Starburst because Melissa just organized everything. But I will show you the different types of candy we have while we just chill here. So we did have, so we got all of our candy from Target, which surprisingly Target had a lot of pretty good deals. Like you would think, oh, go to Costco for it, but we were already at Target and we went to the Halloween section, which was huge in the back, and they had like so many different types of candies and stuff like that. So we got just a generic pack of like, you know, the popular candies. Like, so we got Starburst normals and Starburst Fave Reds. Three Musketeers was a part of it. Do people like Three Musketeers? Do y'all like Three Musketeers? Because I never got into Three Musketeers. It is probably one of like my least eaten candies in my entire lifetime. Three Musketeers, Milky Way is up there. I'm trying to think of other like candy bars that are just like I never got them as a kid. Of course, we got the Snickers, the little mini Snickers. What else do we have? I wish this pack had Kit Kats, because Kit Kats are one of my favorites. And then we got some Sour Punch straws. I thought there was more variety in this. Did we give away all the other types of... Oh, there was M&M packs. Non-peanut M&Ms, just plain M&Ms. And then, yeah, we got these Sour Punch straw things, too, for, like, some more fruity candy. Is that it? I could have sworn there was more types. That is not a lot of variety at all. I think we had... If you include the M&Ms and then one other type of candy that we ran out of, it would have been like seven different types of candy. Three Musketeers is okay, but I'd rather take a Twix. Yes, I love chocolate candies with like cookies in them, or like wafers. Like Kit Kats has the wafers in it. Twix has the cookie in it. I also like Crunch because they have the little rice crackers. So anything that kind of has a little crunchiness to it, that's what I tend to go towards. That's why I don't like Three Musketeers. It's just a bunch of soft, it's nougat, right? That's the main filling. So, Kit Kat or Twix equals my faves. Yeah, Kit Kat's Twix is up there. Crunch too. I know some people don't like Crunch, but I like Crunch. Kale130 said, I actually stocked up on candy for myself before the day, which as a diabetic, I only eat once in a while in very small amounts. My country doesn't celebrate Halloween, sadly. I mean, I would imagine most of the people in this chat probably don't go trick-or-treating anymore because everyone's a little bit older, like high school age and beyond. So, did you hand out candy, though? Firestorm's kids had fun. Nice. And I've heard of, I think ever since COVID, or maybe this was a thing before COVID. I'm not a parent, so I don't keep super like updated on the news. But there's that trunk-or-treating thing, right, where people gather up in like a parking lot and you can go around to each of the cars and get candy. But I only started hearing about that when COVID happened, or like drive-by trick-or-treating, but and drive-by birthday parties. But was trunk-or-treating a thing before COVID? I definitely never heard of that when I was a kid, trick-or-treating. So, about trick-or-treating, most of my, like, growing up ages, like anywhere from when you can walk and go trick-or-treating up until around middle school, my mom was super paranoid about, not razors and candy, or razors or needles and apples and candy, but probably about like poison in candy. So she never let us trick or treat around the neighborhood. So she would take us to the mall, and the malls, I don't know if malls still do this, but on Halloween, a lot of the malls usually do have candy. So we would just go around the mall. As if that was any safer. What if there was some deranged employee who wanted to poison kids and they worked at a store in the mall? They could poison the candy there. Anyways, just a little bit of random information about my childhood. It's a lot more common for rural communities. Trick or treat, or was it a thing before COVID? I remember it. Okay, yeah, so if that makes sense. Yeah, so that you don't have to do a ton of walking and going in between houses just for like a small amount of candy. Okay, nice, got it. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I've lived in pretty populated cities my entire life, so I don't think trunk or treating was very common growing up for me. Yeah, houses are a quarter mile apart. Can you imagine that? Walking a whole mile for 4 pieces of candy, one from each house. Trunk or treat was huge for me. Okay. What kind of monsters put fentanyl or whatever in Halloween candy? What kind of rich person can afford to put drugs into candy instead of using it for themselves or dealing it? Like giving free weed for Halloween? Or anything harmful, yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying. If you follow the news, there are a lot of sick people out there, unfortunately. Yeah, what happened to all those people we were warned about that would give out free drugs? Got us so hyped for that in school. uh, Kling to ask, how long should one expect a Tier C PSU to last? Honestly, dude, Tier C. So this is kind of a hard question because you can have top tier A tier power supplies die within a year or two, which probably it does happen. And then you can have tier E power supplies, which we did pull up a few weeks ago on Reddit. Someone just had some random Chinese power supply they bought for super cheap that lasted them like 10 years, right? Obviously, if you just break it down, statistically, the higher quality, higher tier power supplies are supposed to last longer. But I think a rule of thumb that people tend to use, and I remember hearing Johnny Guru talk about this, is what is the warranty that the power supply company put on the power supply? Because that is what they think and are willing to back for how long it will last. So I think most C tier power supplies I've been seeing last about 5 years. I think as they start to use better, higher quality components that push them into the B and A tiers, then you start getting into like 7-10 year warranties. So I think the most common that I see is 5 years for C tier power supplies. And then as you go lower than that, you get some of the 3 years. I mean, I'm sure there's some C tier power supplies that have maybe a 3-year warranty, but I would say 5 years. But I think that's a conservative estimate, right? Because just based on my anecdotal experience of building systems for friends and family and stuff, and how many systems I have out there with my fingers or my doing in it, I've used plenty of C tier power supplies that have lasted well over 5 years. So, I wouldn't worry about it too much. I would say five years is conservative, but it should last. It should last longer than that. Demon Mitt says double the warranty period. Tier doesn't matter. If something vital like that lasts 2 times warranty, I'm satisfied. Warranty is definitely a part of what you're paying extra for. PSU tier is kind of snooty. Yeah, no. PSU tier list is super snooty. Even the pretty crap PSUs have a pretty decent chance of, yeah. I mean, before PSU tier list came out, and probably for a lot of you people out there, myself included, who have been building PCs for a long time, but as we first started, we were way less knowledgeable. We've all probably used some really, really crappy, cheap power supplies in the past, and it has lasted for a long time. I know I have. I built systems with like no name. Okay, maybe not no name, but you know, like the Pivias and Raid Maxes and stuff. I know they can have some more decent power supplies, but I was definitely buying like some of the cheapest, highest wattage stuff I could find when I first built my first PC, and I'd never had a power supply like blow up on me, or like when I eventually went on to sell that system to upgrade to like a friend and family member, they never had issues with it. So. Demon Man, I still use F and E tier units law. It's not a tier thing. You just gotta know what you're doing with them. Yeah, you don't overload them. You try to keep them pretty much away from running near 100% load, and you should be okay. Yeah, I think I would say that's my threshold too. Aim for maybe 50-60%ish, you know. And you could test that by using a watt meter. Those are cheap. Or if you have a, what's it called? If you have a UPS, then you could plug it into that and it could tell you what the system is actually drawing. If you want the exact system draw, right? Because you can only get so much from calculators, estimators, and even using programs like Hardware Info. They'll tell you the GPU and the graphics card, which is going to be the majority of the power draw, but they don't tell you every other thing that your system is pulling. So I had a 700 watt PSU and a 350 watt PC first build. Yeah, I mean a lot of people's systems, assuming they have like mid-range systems, they're sitting around like 400-ish watts at like gaming load. So yeah, what's up, Chris? What's up? Welcome back. Welcome back. Okay, we've been chilling, small talking for about 20 minutes. Let's get into the topic of the stream, which as you can see, or which you probably saw from the title, is how cheap is too cheap when building a low-cost budget gaming PC? And there's definitely going to be a wide range of answers for this, but there's two ways that you can answer this, and I want to run a poll. It's going to be hard to run a poll with regards to age of parts, but with regards to price, I think it's easier. Sebastian, wait, is my... One second, where's the Spitfire alert? Sebastian Tamayo, give me 1 second. Why is my Spitfire alert super chat's not coming up? Also, did I miss some other super chats? No, Slick. I got that one, but I don't know if that one popped up on stream. Let me see if I can manually send it. There you go. So there was Slick Nix. Yeah, I don't think that popped up earlier. What is going on here? Stream Elements. Okay, you're screwing up right now, Stream Elements. But okay, Sebastian, to answer your question, have a RTX 3060 Ti Ryzen 5800X Gold 750 watt PSU. I want to upgrade my GPU to target high FPS and recommendation. CPU is a gift. Nice. Gold 750. So gold 750 watt power supply. Can you tell us the model? Because you can have what is it? Ari's Game. They made the gold 750 watt power supplies for really cheap, right? And that one would be more questionable if you're trying to run higher end components. But it depends on how much you have to spend. I mean, if you're targeting 1440p high FPS, and we're talking about like, you know, 120, 144, 165 hertz gaming, assuming you want at least high to ultra or max graphic settings, if you have 500 to spend, you could easily get a card that spends all of that up and fits your needs. If you have $600, $700 to spend, each of those pricing categories will still work with 1440p high FPS. And that is a wide range because you're getting into slightly higher resolution, but the high FPS thing gives you like a wide possibilities of graphics cards you can choose. But I mean, if you're buying used, I think RTX 3080s have been sitting at a pretty nice price recently. They're at 400? Shoot, let me see. We gotta go to the browser. Let me go to eBay. We just looked at this, but I have a bad memory. Before sorting by price, I mean, these have been going for around 400 for like the Dell models, right? And the single fan blower coolers. I think I remember them being at like 400, but we'll see. Okay, let's see. Always gotta sort by not garbage stuff. Man, how many dude, sometimes when I look at this, the categories are like new, open box, refurbished, 4 parts, and used. And look how many more categories they're constantly adding. At some point, the filter just becomes too much. But we want used, we want seller refurbished, we want good refurbished, we want very good refurbished, excellent refurbished, certified refurbished, open box, and new. We basically want everything that's not specified or 4 parts because that means it's broken. Well, not specified could be working, but okay, sure, we'll put not specified. But geez, that was 11 different categories that we could choose from. I love eBay, but I hate it at the same time sometimes. What was that? Too many options. Yeah, it is stupid, right? But going back to the question, I mean, if you're trying to spend as little as possible, you're going to use market, Sebastian. You're going to use market, and then because you didn't specify, I'm going to assume you're in the US. I can't answer this question if you live in a different country because your guys' used and new markets are wildly different. But answering this question for people in the US, wow, the colorful iGame, like, look, RTX 3080 for $380. Price to performance is gonna be hard to beat this value. Let me take a look. Used, tested, fully functional. I mean, it might be a mining card if you're okay with that. Did Sebastian answer whether or not they were okay with new or used? Or unleaded refurbished? Yeah. There 15 different types of refurbished are probably all... Yeah, they probably are, for the most part, the same thing. It's just the fact that eBay just either do refurbished or not. Or maybe like factory refurbished for, you know, the companies that take in their cards and want to sell on their official company accounts versus seller refurbished, which is like me and you. So, yeah, you live in the US, you love in the US too. Ooh, you love in the US. No, you live in the US. Okay, what is your budget? You got to answer the budget because that's the most important thing. We can't lock down an option unless we know how much you are able to spend at max. Yeah, so eBay actually has pretty good deals. I still buy computer parts from eBay sometimes because either my local market is either dried up, or because the prices on eBay are, if you can find like a individual seller, you can sometimes get it cheaper than third parties on Amazon. I'm not a power seller, or I don't sell on Amazon at all. Anyone here sell on Amazon that could speak to the seller fees, especially if you do fulfilled by Amazon or whatever the program is where you send Amazon the thing, it sits in their warehouses, and then when someone buys it, they ship it out to them. For some reason, I would imagine that costs a little bit more than eBay, but I'm not sure. Around 600, new or used. Okay, what's up, Spiffy AF? 30% fee. I mean, yeah, if it was that much, that's crazy. Yeah, oh yeah, also, are you a team green or a team red, or does it not matter to you? Because if it doesn't matter, then, let's see, for $600, and there have been a price cut for 7900 XTs? I wonder how much a 7900 XT used is. Let's see what they are on Newegg. After this question, then we will get to the budget polls. All right, so there's not gonna be that. Yeah, so there's 700 open box or 800 here. What are their used prices though? These are still like kind of top end current gen cards. So I'm curious what their going prices are. Yeah, so they're not going for much cheaper. Yeah, like who is gonna spend, you know, MSRP on these cards, these 7900 XTs, and then go and list it on eBay and take a loss like less than a year. This card will be 1 year old in December, right? That was when they announced it. So yeah, it's gonna be harder to get a current gen card for much cheaper than MSRP, if at all. So, Team Blue, anyone? Not at $600. At $600? Shauner says, nah, I can barely sell 4 PCs a month. Not gonna be touching Amazon. Yeah. Yeah, well, dude, I don't think selling PCs on Amazon feels like even a worse deal than selling individual parts just because of how big the PCs are. Yeah, so for 600, so if we do 600, I mean, you're kind of sitting in 7800 XT territory plus tax. Because that's a $500 card if you get the base, you know, kind of reference looking card. Plus tax, that brings you up to $550 if you live in a state like mine where tax is freaking... it's either $500 to $550 plus tax, and assuming you're not buying from your local market, if you're buying either used on eBay or new on Amazon Newegg, there will be tax. So you can buy a $500 to $550 card. 600 is 3090 ranged, or buy new. Let's take a look at 3090s. Isn't it kind of crazy how much these were going for during the pandemic? I mean, these were pushing like 1,500 to 2,000 depending on when during the pandemic we were looking. And now if we're actually going to be seeing them for 3090 RTX. And remember, and we're not talking about some crazy great local deal here because we are looking at the biggest pool. Am I searching something wrong? I'm not seeing anything close to $600. And I know this is eBay, but I don't think... I can look at my local offer up too. I'm not sure we're going to find any... Yeah, like 600 sounds a little too cheap for 3090. Let's see, RTX 3090. We can look at my local area too, which Seattle is a pretty tech hub. Yeah, I think just 3090 being whoops. 39 being as high tier as it was, even though it was last gen. So we're gonna go 30 miles, local only. Let's see what people are selling the RTX 3090s for here. I mean, here's one for 800. I know someone, yeah, I wouldn't, here's the thing. There's always great deals out there, but when trying to answer a question for someone who needs help, I can't assume that they're gonna stumble upon like a super lucky great deal, right? All we can do is look at kind of like national averages, and then if they can save more by looking in the local area. But we're just gonna use my local area, which is pretty, you know, it's not a dead area by any means. Let's see if we can find what the cheapest 3090. So we got 2 of them for 800. 800 here in Renton, Washington. 800 here in Bothell. Whoops, I did not mean to click on that. I was just trying to get the cursor to show. I don't think, I'm going to put a max price of 800 so we're not seeing, and a minimum of like 500, just so we filter out all the BS. So you could do that, but then you'll be without a graphics card. So, but that is a good point to bring out, Casey. I guess, Sebastian, are you willing to sell your graphics card and then wait a potentially 1, 2, 3 weeks until you can find a good deal on the next one? 3060 Ti's, they're going for like 200. I got mine for 220. I think last we checked, they're going for anywhere from 220 to 250. Maybe even less now because the newer stuff has released. But there's one on eBay, 3090 brand new sealed for $640 or best offer. That sounds like a scam. This sounds like a scam if I saw one from a mile away. But let's see if we can find it without the filters. All right, RTX 3090, you said is new for 640. Let's see how fast I can find this thing. Lowest price. And you're saying brand new sealed for 640, huh? $3090 brand new. I'm not seeing this. So RTX 3090 in the search. Buy it now. You're saying it's 640 or best offer. Is that a... Are you looking at a different country? The only filter I have is new. It's from Brazil. Free shipping. It's from Brazil. I didn't even put a limit like in the I didn't limit it to the US or anything. Shipping options, item location worldwide. Is that not? Yeah, even with worldwide, I'm not seeing anything 640. Can you send me a link to the Discord channel? Stream submissions? I think so. Demon Mint sent one. Oh, hardware swap. Yeah, if you could get hardware swap. But hardware swap, dude, if there's a 3090 for 640, it's going to be gone before you can even get to it. Like, hardware swap requires sniping. This thing's 2 days ago? How is this not gone? Pending sale. It was pending sale like almost instantly, probably. It was listed 2 days ago. Person DM 2 days ago. Pending sale. Yeah, I would not use this as a reference. This is a great price. But, so, you could sit around. You have a functioning graphics card. If you have 600 to spend and want the max, I mean, this is an amazing price. I don't know how often 3090s pop up for under 700 bucks though. This seems like it would be kind of like, you gotta be lucky, right? The thing about hardware swap is the best deals, unless you're checking it 24/7, other people are gonna snipe it before you. So, yeah, but I appreciate you posting this, Demon Mitt. Hardware swap is a great place to go. I mean, 3090, 3080 Ti, 3080, they're all going to play 1440p really well. If you go towards the 3080 side, you're going to save money. If you are... Where's Sebastian? Is Sebastian still here? We need some questions answered. Are they willing to sell right now to get more cash? Or maybe sell afterwards if they have, you know, cash in the bank and make the money back. I'm assuming they're going to do something with the graphics card. So when they say 600, I don't assume they're going to sell and then be able to use another 200 and look for an $800 graphics card, if that makes sense. From Brazil equals sus? Not necessarily. I mean, eBay is going to protect you, but I need to see the account. I don't even see the Brazil account here. I put no filters on. I put worldwide, and I did not see the $600 a $600 3090. So whoever said that, then definitely give the link. All right, we got another link from Demon Mint on hardware swap. Which, by the way, Demon Mint, can you clarify? Because ever since the whole hardware swap went Discord thing, are they split now? Can you use both the Discord server and hardware swap, the subreddit? You linked it in the Discord general chat? Okay. Okay, I'm going to open this one up too. We'll take a look at all these. Okay, so this one was listed 4 days ago. This is a 7900 XT. Wait, what? Oh, okay, so what cards are these? Oh my goodness, this formatting. They couldn't do it on separate lines. 7900 XT for 700 local. That's what we saw. No, the open box one on Newegg was 700. So yeah, 700 is about what we saw on eBay and open box Newegg. 3090 for 600 local. Yeah, this would be gone like right away. Also, let's see, PM. I mean, you could try. Okay, this is. Do you have a Reddit account, Sebastian? Yeah, I could definitely sell my current and wait and just to put it towards it. Okay, the 3090 here, if you can get it for like $650 or less, is an awesome deal. My thing is though, just looking at the prices of what they're going for in my own local area and on eBay, I'm thinking any of these ones that Demon Mitt are linking, they're gone already. Like this was 4 days ago at this price, $625 shipped. You could try messaging them if you have a Reddit account. The only thing about hardware swap is, this person has sold, this person has no confirmed trades, but their account is from 2012. But also, I don't know what your Reddit standing is. When two people have 0 confirmed trades, do you guys get nervous of each other? Like, if I was selling something, I would like the buyer to at least have some reputation. And I know you have to build up reputation. Everyone starts at 0 rep. But I don't know. It's just more like if a person with 0 rep and a person with 10 rep came to me and offered the same amount of money, I'm going with the person with 10 rep. I'm sorry. I want someone who has already been confirmed to use hardware swap rather than some new person who might have a small chance of trying to mess around and scam me, try to scam me through PayPal, buyer protection, or something like that. It's all through PayPal goods and service, so you don't worry. As a seller too. As a buyer, I wouldn't be worried. As a seller, I would be worried. Okay. Hey, what's up? H3456. Never mind. Okay. I'm not allowed to install Discord. My mom says Bakata. That must be you're trolling. Okay. What is this? This is okay, guys. Let's take a look at this ad. I'm gonna list it. Can I link this, or it's too much? How do you share this thing? How do I get the short link for here? Share. Where is the share button on? Because I cannot find this even. Oh, here it is. Share. I'm a human. Oh my gosh, a bumblebee. I gotta click on all the bumblebees. Okay. Oh my goodness. Is the page? What happened to the page? We're gonna make a bit.ly. If you guys want to look at this yourself. Oh my goodness. I gotta sign up and get a link. Tiny URL. Here. Shorten the URL. Got it. Alright. If you guys want to look at this and read along. So, look at this. It's K today. Okay, it's K today. If I had to bet my entire house on it, I would bet this is a scam. You're looking at a seller with 0 reputation selling this new video card. This might be a copy and paste description. It is in used condition, they say. They're showing a seal on it. What is this ad? I can't tell if that seal looks cut or not. Please note, the delivery estimate is greater than 8 business days. Huh, okay. That, it's not like they're trying to scam you into waiting around until the money clears so that they can withdraw it. Estimated delivery, November 13th to Tuesday the 21st. You're talking about up to 3 weeks. Free standard shipping. Seller does not accept returns. Oh, yeah, man, this is... They're not stock photos. It could be legit. Bro, we're gonna... Here, you ever heard of reverse image search? We're gonna put this image into that. All right, let's see if we can find this. Okay, there's not the exact same image because we're looking for a Zotac 3090. Show the best matches. Okay. What is this one? Stock image from Thailand. Nope, that's not it. The sorting is very bad. For stock. Nope, we don't want stock images. I mean, just because it's real pictures does not mean it's any more legit. My scam meter is going off the charts right now. What? I don't think for the 3060 Ti, I don't think he's getting 275 for it. If he sells it locally, he might get 250. Let me look. But if you're selling it on eBay or something, you're gonna take a cut and fees and crap, so you're gonna be closer to 200. But if you wanted to buy a 3060 Ti right now, brand new, or not brand new, but used, there's plenty of 3060 Ti's closer to like 225. Yeah, here's one for 225. Here's another for 225. This one is 230. This one's 230. I mean, I know there are different brands, but just the card itself is not worth that much. And this is eBay prices. Local markets are usually slightly cheaper. Hardware Swapper is going to sell 3060 Ti's for cheaper. So, I mean, to answer the final question, used 3080, if you want to spend a little bit less money, you don't have to spend your full budget. Every time someone says, I have this much to spend, if there's nothing I can find in that price category, sometimes I recommend a good bang for buck or price to performance card slightly cheaper, and then they pocket some extra money at the end of the day. So 3080, 3080 Ti, or 3090 in the used market, though 3090 is going to be a hard squeeze unless you're spending, I think, closer to 700, to be honest. Like, or you can check Hardware Swap. 3090, poor, go 4090. Or, I mean, for 600, you can just get a 4070 outright, which, as much as people, like, this is like the hassle-free solution, right? Where's the Newegg? If you want a hassle-free, like, don't have to deal with used, you get a warranty, you get a brand new card, then I think the 4070 or the 7800 XT, if you don't mind Team Red, for better performance for slightly less money. Your new options are 4070 or 7800 XT. But let me, God, why Newegg? Where are the graphics cards? Why is it all these? You know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for RTX 4070. Stop giving me this bull crap. Where? Oh my goodness. Am I blind? Where is the graph? Oh, here it is. GPUs. 4070 is actually discounted. Yeah, it took a price drop to 550. After tax will bring you up to 600. 4070 Ti is kind of a bigger bump up. That's closer to $800. So, I think the Kling says that the $4070 at a $50 price premium is worth it for the power efficiency, DLSS, and frame gen. I mean, that's a perfectly valid opinion. Like, as much as I like meme on overpriced Nvidia cards, and as much as I like to ask random strangers what cards they have in their computers and which brands they prefer, I don't like look down, or I don't get internally upset when I see people buy Nvidia cards. Like, it's a perfectly viable option, and you know, to some people, spending a little bit more money isn't the end of the world. So. Frame gen is a meme. Frame gen, I mean, when ray tracing and DLSS first hit the scene, it was kind of a meme too, because like the performance or image quality wasn't that good. But I can see it improving in the next gen of tech, but then your current card might not be able to run it if it's locked to the next gen of cards. So at the end of the day, if you spend $600 or $550, whatever you want to call it, on a 4070, I think you would be happy with the card. Nvidia is so cheap with VRAM, and I don't care about ray tracing. I just care about performance. Yeah, I mean, okay. We actually, when's the last time we run this poll? One last poll, man. Thank you for the great conversation topics, because this wasn't even supposed to be what we were talking about today. But I think people are very excited to talk about this topic. But okay, what? do you support more? All right, I was trying to like figure out how to ask the question because I know some people build multiple systems. I know some people like both, but what company do you support more for graphics cards? And you can interpret that poll question however you like. But when I say support, I'm talking about like rooting for counts as part of the question, as well as spend money on. Like which graphics cards have you bought new or used more of in your time building PCs, or if you've only built one PC, which company did you lean towards? That is how you support a company, by buying their products, or also by spreading the word, spreading the good word of their brand. Star5328 says the stuff Nvidia has done in the past couple of years makes me not willing to buy a new card for them. So I'm assuming you would answer AMD, is which you would support more. Flips, I prefer to use Nvidia. They sell faster. AMD for personal builds for better price performance. But okay, Casey, how can you answer it in terms of internally, which company do you like / root for more? It's not about the profits you get from flips. It's about which company you like more. Nvidia tried to launch a 4080 that wasn't 4080. That's insulting to your and everybody else's intelligence. Sounds like you like AMD more. Sounds like you support AMD more. But the correct answer is actually Intel, which is funny because I'm about to support Intel as much as I can soon here in my PC. AMD isn't your friend either. Which one is less of your enemy is the question. Intel for competition. You support Intel because you're a patriot? Okay, all these people saying they support Intel. Have y'all bought an Intel graphics card? We're talking about graphics cards here. We're not talking about CPUs, because CPU is a different story. Like AMD is losing to Nvidia quite a bit in terms of the graphics card space, just like by market share. But plenty of people have told me they love AMD CPUs and they're fine with it. So we're talking about strictly GPUs. So when we talk about Intel, we're not talking about Intel CPUs, which people are plenty fine with. We're talking about their first gen or their recent gen of consumer gaming graphics cards, which have a pretty limited scope. It's just operating in the lower to mid range. They haven't released anything high end yet. But yeah, have you supported them in that respect? Have you bought one like an ARC A 380, 770, 750, or 580 graphics card? If any company, Jason brings up a good point. If any company could get away with charging more, they would. Nvidia does because it works. Yeah, I mean. Linus Sebastian in the house? The Linus? The LTT Linus? Oh my goodness, he is here in the stream. Y'all might say you support AMD, but you only buy Nvidia. You only buy Nvidia? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that Jason said a long time ago. So many people are rooting for AMD, yet they still buy and support Nvidia way more with their wallets. Wow, Nvidia and AMD right now, with regards to the votes in the poll, it's a tie. AMD slightly edging it out by 1 or 2%. I want AMD to bring prices down. Like, I'm assuming you mean you want AMD to force Nvidia to bring prices down, which they kind of did, right? After the 7800 XT and 7700 XT released, Nvidia soon after took a price cut on their mid to upper mid-range GPUs by $50. So, I can't do the Peter Griffin voice, so I can't read this out in it. But I understand the the voice you're typing in. AMD basically charges, or basically watches what Nvidia does and charges 10% less. Yeah. But I don't think 10% is enough for them to gain market share. I think people are willing to pay a 10% premium to go with less driver issues as well as ray tracing and all the other stuff. Thoughts on Zach? I'm assuming ZTT, right? You just spelled Zach wrong. New series that's basically a redux of Elijah's series. Well, he's just changing it to PC flipping instead of selling it on his own website. He's just selling them locally. You think he got influenced by Elijah on that? I don't know. And also, did he call flipping until I buy a house? Because I wouldn't call it a redux on Elijah, because buying and flipping PCs, like lots of budget tech channels do that, or just lots of tech channels do that in general. So the demand for ZTT PCs is through the roof because of its content. So I saw Zach his video. He's not so the new season. He's called the first season ran for a long time then, because up till now all his PC building and flipping on his and selling it on his website was considered season 1, which spanned like multiple years. But he's starting season 2, and now he's not selling it on his website anymore, which I think, well, I don't know how, in terms of content, if for him, if that's better or not. But for his viewers, it's gonna suck, because that was, every month he had like a handful of PCs that he let go for super cheap. Now they're not gonna be available to ship across the country, from my understanding, because he's only going to sell them locally for this next season, however long this next season runs. So that's kind of interesting, because all the viewers that like the people who join his like YouTube channel membership and YouTube Twitch subs, they used to get early access to buying the PCs, but now that's not, you don't even get that anymore. Unless, Shauner, do you have any more details on that? Is that going to do anything to fill the void of one of the benefits of becoming a channel member or a Twitch sub, of having early access to the monthly sales? Because they used to get the link to buy the PCs or the drops before anybody else. But if he's not selling on his own website, then all the super cheap cheap, low cost PCs aren't going to be there anymore. Okay, so he's still going to keep the monthly drops. I thought all his monthly drops were from all the PC building content, but I guess he does more than just... So Flipping Fridays is the only one that is going to be sold locally, but he has other budget builds that he does that is not... Yeah, you're right. That's not a part of Flipping Friday. I kind of just grouped up all the budget PC builds together, but he does have specifically Flipping Friday. You're right. Okay, that makes sense. Rflet says, man, Rflet, you always talk about drama. There's no drama. Did something bad happen again? No. We're just talking about Zach's new season of his series, Flipping Fridays, where he's gonna sell the PCs locally to see how much money he could make. Which I forget in the video if he said he was trying not to use his influence. Wait, no. In the ad, it says, I'm a PC building YouTuber, but, and the first buyer was someone who was a viewer of his. So I don't think there's a way for him to not use his influence unless he keeps it anonymous in the ad and makes like a new profile to sell. But, yeah. Nobe, will you shotgun a 4 Loko on stream for $200 since Zach turned me down? Shotgun a 4 Loko? Dude, $200? I don't know, that I feel like that would make my stream and just myself as an individual, I would feel cheap if I could be bought to perform like a circus monkey for $200. But dude, $200 is a lot of money just to shotgun a 4 Loko. So I'm not a drinker. I don't know how much alcohol is in 4 Loko. But just drinking large volumes of liquid, I don't think I'm that good at. So I would probably make a huge mess and not be able to finish the whole thing. So yes, Demon Mint, bringing it back on topic. We've gone for a whole hour talking about whatever. Sorry, how cheap is too cheap? I wanted to run polls, so I'm going to end the poll we had. Wow, Nvidia wins. What company do you support more for graphics cards? Nvidia got close to half of the votes, and then the rest at AMD and Intel. So what I wanted to talk about on stream was in terms of how cheap. And you can answer this question two different ways with regards to like how old of hardware or what generation of hardware you're willing to go down to, and then what is like the bottom dollar price. So we'll do the price one first because it's easier to answer. So and we're gonna assume used parts. And so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna assume used parts, readily available, eBay / Amazon / Newegg open box pricing. We're not talking about, oh, I got good deals so I could build, you know, what would be normally a $400 or $500 PC for $200. We're not talking about those. We're talking about, I'm gonna tell you right now to go out and build 10 of these PCs based on what you can find in the used market, and you have to build 10 almost identical systems. That's what we're talking about with regards to like average prices and stuff. Maybe not 10, but like 2 or 3. So what is the cheapest someone should spend on a PC? Assume used US market. I only have 4 options, so we're gonna do, I mean, I think once you get to the 500 mark, it's like pretty safe, right? And we can only do $500 or $100 increments. So we're gonna have to break it down to pretty like big ranges here. What is the cheapest someone should spend on a, you would recommend? Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's only so many options that we could have. So it's going to be 400, 300, 200, 100. What is your bare minimum? Like if you are actually suggesting to family or friends, people that you actually like, based on, you know, what you could readily availably get on like eBay, Amazon. You could use hardware swap, but just assume regular pricing, right? Don't assume $600 3090 because you can't get that any day of the week. You're sniping deals for that. I'm talking about like you go to eBay, maybe you can take 10% off because your local market. But what is the minimum price? I know there are like, you could build systems for $100 to $200, and people ask me all the time to do that in videos or even in the stream. But I'm like, dude, $100 to $200, you do realize like how limited you are gonna be, right? In terms of, first of all, just because you can run games doesn't mean the rest of your like experience on the PC is gonna be good. Like having like, let's say you have a Sandy Bridge i7 or something, or even Haswell 4th gen Intel i7. That could actually still run games at like anywhere from 45 to 60 FPS if you pair it with a good enough graphics card. But installing games, installing programs, just doing anything that wants to shoot your core or thread usage up to 100%, copying files, it's just so many other uses of your PC. It gets handicapped by the fact that you have such an old processor. So yeah, that's what my thought process was for asking this question. Now, some people are like, you know what? Screw it. $200. You just get a slim tower and throw in a low profile, I don't know, 1050 in it, and that's a $200 PC. That works, but I personally would not recommend something like that to my friends or family. I would say, hey, you're an adult, save a little bit more money, and I promise you, spending, for me, I would say closer to $400. You could do $300, but I'm really pushing for AM4. Like, if I'm helping someone build a low-cost PC, I really want to push for AM4 just because of how long that platform was and for how you could get still viable today processors on it. I usually don't like to push them towards Intel because I'm not trying to get them like 6th or 7th gen Intel, which is a complete dead end with regards to upgrade path. But let's see what you guys are saying. Okay. GTA 5 60 FPS can be played on a potato. That is a good point. But I asked the question with regards to that you would recommend to friends and family and loved ones that you actually like. I would not push a cheap potato onto them because I know their user experience and they're going to come to me way sooner for an upgrade, and they might have more issues with regards to just everything because the potato PC is just going to function like crap outside of being able to play some games decently. Star5328 says, my Z440 build and a 24-inch 100Hz IPS from Acer recertified. Wait, what? How much are the Z440 towers going for? So there's the P520 and then the Z440s. Let's take a look at what the pricing on those are. Pre-builts, again, I would have, for this poll, I would have voted 400 because as much as these workstation towers are fun to play with and make content on, man, I would not recommend that for, if it's for like a niece or nephew or something, sure. Give them a cheap PC, they could learn on it, you know, they don't need the best computer. If I'm talking about like my friends who are like at least 18 years of age or have a full-time job, I'm not gonna push, and they're still cheap, I'm not gonna push a workstation tower on them. Unfortunately, that's just my opinion on it though. Everyone else has different opinions. Like, I'm gonna push them towards something that is newer, that if they want to in a year or two, they can come to me and I can say, hey, get a 5800X 3D or get a 5700X or anything to pop in there and it'll, you know, work fine. B350 boards, you can still use those right now. They're still perfectly viable. All right, what are we looking for? We're looking for Z440 tower. I don't think those are going to be 70 bucks, unfortunately, Star5328. I think you got a pretty good deal on it. But let's see what these are. Oh, wait. Which one did you get? The shipping kills it. It looks like they're at minimum 100 bucks now. But which one did you get specifically? Oh, Demon Mid, for good friends, he's thinking at least 1,000. I can see that, but you don't think you have any friends that would still, you know, that have jobs and stuff, but don't want to spend that much? Maybe are all my friends just like cheap? No, I'm just kidding. I think the most common price point that I have had friends and family members come to me for is around like $800. I would say on average around $800 because they know I'm able to use used parts, which $800 in the used market gets you so far. But yeah, I do sometimes build for friends or family members' kids though, like nieces and nephews and stuff like that. And that's when they usually tend to like ask for like $400 or $500 builds. But yeah. So that's why this is a very open-ended question. It's more about what you guys are talking about in chat rather than the actual poll itself. Shauner's built for friends from 400 to 1200. That's pretty similar to me. Yeah, average of 800. Built your parents for 200. Yeah, parents, they just need the cheapest office tower you can get, and like some graphics card for output, for video output, and then an SSD just to make sure it's not super slow. But yeah, hard to convince people new to PC gaming what they need to spend twice the cost of. How much is a PS5 right now? I'm so out of the loop with so PS5. I just typed in PS5 and okay, Walmart. I think Walmart should have some pretty standard pricing, right? $500 on a PS5. What? You said twice the cost of a PS5? Oh, you mean 1,000? I think you mean 1,000, right, Jason? Unless PS5s are cheaper and Walmart doesn't have the best price. What's Best Buy have them for? What's Amazon have them for? Amazon. All buying options. What do we got? Okay, so it looks like 500 is pretty standard across the platform. Yeah, 500. Oh, to the $1,000 PC recommend? Yeah. Okay, so we always get back to the console versus PC wars question, and I still don't understand that, right? People that I know who come to me looking for a PC, consoles are not even an option. Like if I told them, go get a console for your budget range, it's cheaper, that's not even an option because, and I've said this time and time again on the channel and in videos and stuff like that, PCs are capable of doing way more than a console can. People play games on PC that are not available on console. You cannot play games, some of the most popular games, like League of Legends. Is Valorant on console? I don't know if I would assume it's not. But League of Legends, among other games, you cannot video edit, not like everyone's video editing or photo editing. Photo editing people get more into than video editing. You can't browse as easily. It's just, I've never found people who are like, I need a PC. You should get a console instead. Oh, okay, I'll do that. Like everyone who has ever approached me for a PC, they looked for a PC specifically because they probably already had a console and it couldn't even do what they wanted it to do. Firestorm said, I built my kid's PC. GTX 1080. Whoa, 300? That is a really good. You got a 3600 Ryzen in it. 32 gigs of RAM. That's DDR4. GTX 1080 for $300. I think you are a very good deal hunter, and I don't think you can expect the average person to get a build for this price. Like if I wanted to replicate this build for 3 or 4 friends, I don't think I could do it 3 or 4 times at this price. These sounds like some pretty good deals. Just because I don't know what motherboard you got, but B450 and even some B350 boards have held their value over time. Power supplies, if you want one that's like, not on the D or E tier, they're kind of expensive. You have to kind of get lucky on some of the deals. Yeah, I think this one is, these specs, I think is, if you wanted to replicate it, is definitely closer. Because the GTX 1080 easily goes for over $100. A 3600 and motherboard combo is, I think, a little bit more than $100. 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, even used, we're probably looking at like, what, 60 or 70 bucks here. Cases, any new case you're getting, unless it's a crap case, still crap cases start at 40 bucks. But if you want a more nice case, you would have to go in the used market because new case deals just are crap. And then power supplies, anything that's like 500 watt C tier plus usually is gonna float around like 40 bucks, even in my local market when I've been looking. But you might have gotten better deals. Oh, Star, you got the monitor for, okay, 70 bucks. You said it, I read it as if you got the Z440 and the monitor for 70 bucks. Like you got some crazy good local deal. Let's see, what are we talking about? People may not have 800. Wait, Demon Mate. Oh, but Demon Mate's talking about his own friends and family. I mean, I don't get... You sell plenty of PCs, but I guess that's the stranger, so you don't care about selling them $400 PCs, but you would never recommend one of your own $400 PCs to a family member or friend, is what you're saying, Demon Mate? Alex Rees, thank you. Where are the super chats? Give me 1 second. They are lagging today. Something is up with Stream Elements. Okay, the notification's gonna pop up on screen at some point. I don't know when, but regarding this question, 13400 good to pair. Okay, I think that's a fine pairing. I think if you have a 13400 already, or if you already bought this, I don't see... Oh, for 1080p? Yeah, I think that's fine. I think, like, for me, my answer would have been 400 is because I could get someone like a 3600, just basically the build that, who was it? Where is it at? That was just posted earlier. I clicked on the comment. It should be highlighted. Here we go. Yeah, that Firestorm for $400. Okay, I think this might be pushing it. I mean, it would be awesome to recommend someone this PC for $400. Like, if you could just build this any day of the week, yeah, that's a great price. But even if, for $400, based on whatever deals I could find as quick as I can, if it was a 3600 with a compatible motherboard, even if it was a 1070 and with 16 gigs of RAM, I would still say, hey, this is going to be, if you've never had a PC before, this is definitely going to compete with console level stuff, and you could do more with your PC. But for $400, I think you could get a really good functioning PC. You know what GPU is slept on by most people? Vega 56 and 64. Well, that's a good point that you're bringing up because we don't hear those talked about, but maybe there's a reason they're slept on. Vega 64. I think the Vega cards... Okay, let me see. Vega 64... Oh, I put 65. Whoopsies! I couldn't even begin to guess what the price of these are going to be without looking at it first. We're looking at Vega 60... so this is 110 because of the shipping. But we're looking at... Ooh, wow, prices go up pretty quick. So this is a pretty good deal. Oh, and it's from a seller with 100% rating, almost 800 sales. But everything else is, let's see, 123. Yeah, so 110 is the cheapest, and we're hitting at 123, 130 almost, 130 here, 155. Prices go up very quickly. Shoot, what is the Vega? I'm going to have to look at the TOM GPU hierarchy for a quick reference. We're going to assume 1080p. Vega, Vega 64, $100 for about a little bit over 1080, but under 5700 and 5700 XT. Well, see, I think that's the reason right there. The Vega 64 slept on because 5700s and 5700 XTs could be found at basically the same price for better performance. Like, yeah, we're looking at, let's take a look at 1440p. Vega 64 is right here. Yeah. I mean, obviously, this is just one source. You would have to look at, like, multiple sources to see the relative performance and average them out. But I don't know, man. I don't know if Vega 64 is being slept on or if it deserves being slept on for how it's being priced in the used market relative to 5700 XTs. Okay, what did I miss in the chat? Jason's kids will be playing on a GT 710. I have not given much thought. We're still years out from when I have my first child and when they will be of age to start using a computer and being able to realize the differences in different hardware. Like, you could give a 3-year-old a freaking, just like a $25 whatever office tower that you find on Craigslist, without adding anything to it using the integrated graphics, and they probably wouldn't know the difference between that and a $1,000 PC. So, yeah. Mr. Guillotine is still on the Ryzen 3600 and will be keeping it for a bit longer. I need to upgrade the GPU first. Guillotine, what is your graphics card again? I say again as if I might have once known, but there's so much going in chat and there's too many people for you to know individually what all your guys' PC specs are. So please don't take it personal when I ask you what your specs are, even if you might have mentioned it like last week or something, because my memory is like this. It is horrible. Put a PC in the baby's room just so that they can get used to seeing it there so they can keep the family business alive. Okay, Jason, I'm sorry. I saw your message earlier. You said you were on a train to or from Yokohama. Did you go to the Gundam base? Did you go to Gundam base at Yokohama? Star 5328, yep. 5700 and 5700 XT are very meta right now. They are meta around the, like, I mean, what, $80 to $120 price point? There's a wide swing depending on where you are. Wait, what? 5700 XT on eBay for 70 plus 17 shipping? Oh no, it's K today. You've been listing or been quoting some stuff that's a little bit lower than I would have thought. I didn't think 5700 XTs are under. That would put it at basically 90. Now 90 in a local market, I would say, but eBay is a different animal. eBay is usually more expensive. So let's see if I can find this cheap 5700 XT you're talking about for 70 bucks. And it better not be a 4 parts one, because I do see cheap ones 4 parts. But let me see. Or if it's one with a missing fan or something, then yeah, I understand. But let me see. Not ending soonest. What am I smoking? Price and shipping lowest. Buy it now. Okay, but we can't. So pre-owned. Nitro. Parts only. Okay. The cheapest one I could find is 80 plus 11. So we're looking at $90. Heatsink only. Yeah, it's K today. I mean, you're going to have to link it so that we can look at whatever your... Oh, here it is. You did link it. Let me bring this up. Man, I don't know. Some of the eBay listings you be posting is questionable. All right, what do we got here? 4 parts are not working, dude. Dude. You got to read the listing. But let's see if it's... How broken is it? Selling for parts. Unit lights up, fan spin, but no video. Guys. You can't just be linking the lowest price things. That's why every time I look at stuff, I sort it and do not include 4 parts. So, I wouldn't say I'm like a pro or a super expert with the used price market. But I would say I know a decent amount. And the amount of times I have gotten like into discussions with people and said, oh yeah, this probably costs around this much. And they're like, no, it's way cheaper than that. I found one listing on eBay that was like 50% cheaper. Every single time, it's stuff like this, where it's like heatsink only, 4 parts. It's like, am I going crazy and have just lost touch of what parts are worth? Or are people not realizing that some of the good deals that they're claiming are just too good to be true? And this is a case of it being too good to be true because it's 4 parts. Like, yeah, there's 70 bucks on eBay specifically just seems way too cheap. Maybe 70 bucks on OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace, and that would be swiped real fast. But it's not sitting on eBay for that long. When you get sent an eBay link and it's a box only, yeah, let's see. RTX 4090 box only. How much are those going for? What is the cheapest 4090 box I can buy? So I can do another, what's it called? What's that website? What's that website that I scammed? StockX. That's what it was. You buy a used box. I'm just kidding right now, by the way. Do not take this as advice. This is just what scammers could do to make a profit if they wanted to. But I'm not condoning it by any means. You buy a box, you fill it with rocks, and you sell it on StockX, and you seal it up. But the cheapest RTX 4090 box only that you can buy is $66 for some cardboard and maybe some anti-static bags. Crazy, man. This is crazy. If you buy the if you buy the box, maybe they forget to take the GPU out. Could be a gamble. A boat's a boat, but a box, it could be anything. It could be a GPU. That's it. Pika-Wubs. You've never heard of that scam? Let me see. Bought a graphics card, got boxed with rocks. I'm going to Google search that. Here we go. First look. This is from 2020. So I got a bunch of rocks instead of a graphics card. You've never heard of this? Yo, they didn't take a picture of the rocks. Why would you take the rocks out of the box before posting this? RGB Gamer Ramen? What is this? What is this RGB Gamer Ramen you guys are talking about? No worries, it's K today. But just remember, if the price is too good to be true, it might be. Okay, I missed Jason's, 2 weeks, wait. Maid cafes, we're talking about maid cafes, okay. Because Jason is in Japan right now. Oh, cool, yeah, Cup Noodle Museum is very cool. You get to make your own cup noodle. I don't think I ever showed that on stream. Let me show you my haul from Japan real quick, because I don't think I showed my Japan haul, did I? Wait, I might have. Remind me in the chat if I did. Yeah, because Cup Noodle Museum was like, we made our own ramen. We got, let me go grab it real quick. I'll be right back. Japan, for me and Melissa, was back in May, so it's been a while, but it was one of our most memorable international trips. We've only taken 2 international trips, but we got enough souvenirs for our like display and stuff. So when you go to the Cup Noodle Museum, you get to make your own cup noodle. Like, you get to pick the noodles, you get to pick the filling, you get to draw on the cup. So I drew Shin-chan. And then they seal it up for you. I did curry flavored with onions and I think, what did I do for the meat fillings? I forget. It might have been beef for the curry or chicken for the curry. But then they give you this really cool inflatable thing to protect it. It's like a little baggie, or you can wear it around your neck or something. But yeah, so this was from the Cup Noodle Museum. But not only that, we did the tour. And what the tour is not like a factory tour. The tour is a cooking class where you can make your own Nissan like ramen. Like, this is their OG ramen, and then you could, so you hand mix the noodle, like the flour and everything like that, and then you put it through the press, and then you put it through the slicer, and then you make the shape, so then they deep fry it, and then they package it for you, and then you get let me see if I can, yeah, and then you can draw on the thing. So this is the ones that me and Melissa made. And then they also give you this cool bandana that you can wear while you're cooking. So yeah, it was pretty fun. It was super cheap too. I think the whole class was like 25 bucks to hand make your own ramen, or not ramen, but like instant noodles to take home. So yeah, pretty cool. Okay, did I miss something? Has anyone noticed if your name isn't green or blue? Is this what Scott's talking about now? I'm pretty sure I've answered it's K today who, so let me prove you wrong. I've answered it's K today whose name's not green or blue, Demon Mitt whose name's not green or blue, Nemus Tech, Rflet, Pika Wubs, Casey Walls. I'm just going through Sebastian, even though he donated. So yeah, Scott. This is what happens when the stream has like how many live people? Almost 100 people and the chat is constantly going. I'm gonna miss people's chats. Don't take it personal. I talk to everybody, but there are definitely people who I miss. So Scott, you got your personal me talking to you now, but I mean, I think what happens is you just have to engage in normal conversation, and if it's what we're talking about, I'll see it. But there's like a million different names. My name isn't green or blue, and Danny talks to me all the time. Yeah, so don't take it personal. Like I don't have favoritism. Honestly, I don't even notice like the colored names. I look at the chat real quick, and if there's any keywords that like catch my attention, I answer it. And you can ask anybody in chat who does not have a green or blue name that I have answered their questions many a times. Corey S says, what chair is that? So I'm sitting on my, oh my goodness, you can't even see it because it's so dark. So the chair that I'm sitting on is my Dexley. Is it a Hyte? I don't think it's a Hyken. But it's a union and scale flex fit Dexley. I did not spend, I spent like $130 or $140 on it. But I mean, dude, if you think about it, in terms of computer chairs, this thing is super comfortable. And for me, I always got to preface it with, not everyone is going to find every computer chair comfortable, if that makes sense, right? But I do know of a lot of people who find this and the Staples Hyken mesh chair very comfortable. And if you look at the price of them, they're always under 200 bucks. This or the Hyken. I think the Hyken is usually a little bit cheaper. Yeah, oh, well, they usually go on sale for like $150 or less. I mean, people are spending $500, $600, $700, $800, $1,000 in computer chairs. I have sat in $1,000 computer chairs. Like at my office job, that is what the chairs was. That was what the chairs was. You know, big companies, they can spend a ton of money on like ergonomics and stuff like that, right? I don't remember what company the chair was, but it was a nice chair and stuff like that. Because, you know, at the office, you're sitting 8+ hours a day. And at home, I'm sitting in this chair 8+ hours a day. My body type is not one that can tell that much of a difference between the two. But again, that's my body type. So when it comes to chair recommendations, I can't say like, oh, this is for sure the best bang for buck for everybody. But I do know that if you look on Reddit and stuff like that, and you look at people and their testimonials, this chair is one of the most popular bang for buck options that are out there. Let's see what we got. Technical Kirk says, is there really a difference between expensive chairs? Yeah. So the most expensive chairs, they have more fine tuning for the adjustments. Like for my headrest, I know one thing about these chairs is that tall people, they have to do a modification for the headrest to hit their head because they're so tall. But if you're an average height person, I think it's not an issue. And just, if you look at like the armrests and like the seat and stuff like that, there's less fine tuning of like being able, like this chair, you cannot shift the seat forward and back. You shift the seat up and down. The armrests, they don't turn, they just go up and down. So it's small things like that. And then of course, build quality, right? The more expensive chairs, they're usually like freaking heavy. They use, I guess, whatever higher build quality. They have longer warranties and they have better customer support for if anything does go wrong, you could return it, not return it, or get like a replacement, no question asked type of thing. So that's what you're doing when you're buying like a really expensive chair. Dan H says, my hunchback never touches the back of the chair. My hunchback, my lower back always touches the back of my chair, but my upper back does not. It's K today says, I got one without headrest because I don't lean my... Yeah, so I have a headrest, but I rarely lean back to use it. I mean, when I'm gaming or typing or anything, I'm usually leaning a little bit forward, so yeah. VZGo Butil. Oh man, sorry, I'm just butchering your name. Okay, what guard do you have right now? You're missing some key information here. Do you have a computer and a graphics card right now? That changes the answer to the question a little bit, depending on what you say. Also, if Nvidia is going to be Nvidia, they're not going to make their current gen graphics card that released not even a year ago become obsolete. Which means they're not going to release a 4070 Super at a lower price than what 4070s will be going for. They're going to price it accordingly, probably try to get the price to performance relatively the same. So, I don't think you can go wrong with buying a 4070 right now. I think sometimes people think like, oh, the next card around the corner is going to be better price to performance because it's the newer generation. But we didn't see that with this generation. The 7800 XT performs so close to the 6800 XT. Anybody who waited for it should feel kind of like a fool because it was the same, when it released, both cards became the same price. And they were very close in performance. So I think we need to get out of this mindset that these companies, at least for the time being, are going to give us way better bang for buck in the newer releases. Because we have not seen that for at least these last... for sure this last gen. 30 series delivered on more performance per dollar. So... But do you think there will be... I can't speculate on that. I don't know anymore about 4070 Supers. Let me see. 4070 Super. If I Google this. Tom's Hardware had an article 4 days ago. Potential specifications on it. The thing is... In addition, the Nvidia allegedly plans them. The 4070 Super... At some point... that's why I kind of hate Nvidia. We do not need so many. We don't need almost every card having a base card, a TI card, and then going backtracking to a super card. Like, it's just so annoying. They're going to refresh. There's too much talk. The thing is, so... answering the original question that VZGo had, if a 4070 Super comes out and they're trying to give it better value, what is likely going to happen is the 4070 is going to take even more of a price cut than what it is right now. So you got to ask yourself, is saving potentially, I don't know, $20, $30, however much they cut it by, to have a graphics card right now versus getting it at the price cut in X number of months, we don't know how many months that's going to be, what is more valuable to you? I didn't see if they answered the question as to what graphics card they have right now, though. VZGo. VZGo, what graphics card do you have? Yeah, that's a good point, Star. Yeah, it's a way for Nvidia to change their pricing without admitting it's too high and just lowering the current prices. Oh my goodness. Okay. You have a GTX 960 right now. What's your processor? The thing is, it's really hard to answer these types of questions if I don't know the rest of your system. Because, like, I'm not going to say, you have a 960 right now. For all I know, you could have like a 45, like a i5 4570 from Haswell in your system, because that was something that used to be paired well with the 960. So what CPU do you have? is the next question. And what's your power supply? A 4070 right now would be a huge upgrade over your 960. But you might need a rest of your system upgrade too. I don't know what you have, but yeah. Oh my God, Casey Walls with the super. I tell my potential girlfriends, I don't have a super card. And then when they say, oh, I have a super card. And when they say, don't you mean a supercar? I say, yes, you'll get the D later. My goodness. BZGo has a 700 watt PSU. Oh, okay. You have a 13600 KF. Yes. I mean, are you just like sitting here playing like Valorant all day and League of Legends? Because that's like the only, and CSGO. There's only so many games that the 960 can play relatively comfortably. So you have a 13600 KF. If it were me and I wanted to game and enjoy my computer right now, I would get the 4070 or whatever the AMD equivalent is for the same price that you can find it for. But that's just me. At some point, saving 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks is not worth waiting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months. You have a 960. If you said you had a 3070 or if you said you had a 3060, my answer would be different. I would say, sure, wait as long as you want because you have a good functioning graphics card. You have a 960. Just get it and enjoy your computer right now. Wait, what? Tech power up? It's 580%. It is a 7 times increase. Wait. So the whole 7 versus the percentage versus times percent. Because if you say something is 100% of the performance, it means it is 1 times, right? If you say something is 200% higher performance, it's different than 200% of the performance, if that makes sense, right? So it is, but you're saying it is 580. It's not plus 580%. It's 580 versus 100% or plus 480%. Sorry, the math thing with percentage differences or increases is, it can get complicated depending on how the lingo or terminology. But yeah. Hey, what's up, Gabe? Casey Walls, I do not do retro emulation, unfortunately. That is just, I don't know. That is not a thing that I do. I mean, I have run emulators just so I could play old games from time to time, but it's not a huge interest of mine. I don't know why. I mean, I had a Nintendo. We had Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and then N64. I guess up to GameCube. But something about emulation I never really got into. I've done like the Game Boy Advance emulations and stuff like that. Just not a huge, like, I could never really get into it. Maybe, and I've explained it before, is because most of my gaming nowadays is online gaming. Like, it's not much of single player gaming. I play games so I could play with or against other people for the most part. I haven't had much enjoyment out of single player games in recent years. I don't know why. Yeah, the closest I come to retro is World of Warcraft, and that's not even retro. That was 2004. Actually, no. I guess I don't play Warcraft 3 too often, but I really like Warcraft 3, but that's still not retro. I mean, when I think retro, I'm thinking like 8 or 16-bit graphics and stuff like that. Yeah, Fightcade, we should. That should be added to our random game of list of games or list of things to do post-stream. It's that social itch you need, I think, when it comes to multiplayer preference. Yeah, I mean, right now I'm like deep into a hardcore World of Warcraft Classic, which I never thought I would get into, but I'm spending a lot of waking hours playing hardcore WoW Classic. Which, if I die on it, I lose my character and all my progress, which is kind of crazy, but yeah. Before that, though, I was playing Fallout 76, which is surprisingly was very easy to get into, and it more so than other Fallouts because I could randomly see other people on the map from time to time. So all right, Demon Mint, I think you bring up a good point. Okay, here's a graph I have about YouTubers. So many focus on modern AAA gaming. Okay, so I'll answer it from my standpoint, right? But other people can, or I guess you can ask other YouTubers or comment or tweet at them and stuff like that. But you're asking, why do so many focus on modern AAA single-player title games? For benchmarking, no one focuses on games people are actually regularly playing. What would it take to get more people to start benchmarking the actual top 20 games on Steam? So let's take a look at what that is. Top 20 games on Steam. Steam? See, this is why. Okay. My answer to this is because, let's take a look at all the games. Counter-Strike. I don't think Counter-Strike benchmarks are that useful because if I'm doing anything north of a $600 used guide or a $1,000 brand new PC guide, there's no question that you're maxing out Counter-Strike at the max graphics settings at 300 FPS. Same with Dota 2. I don't know Baldur's Gate performance, but I just am not interested in Baldur's Gate, so that's why I don't benchmark it. I do benchmark Apex Legends. You know what? I take that back. I benchmark League of Legends when I do budget PCs, and I just don't do Dota. I don't know which game is harder to run, but I do something that's, you could say, is as popular as Dota, probably. And then Counter-Strike, I do Counter-Strike on the cheap systems. It's just that I feel like it's a waste of video time and my time to do games like this, where it's even if you have a potato PC, you're running at 100 plus FPS. What else? Team Fortress 2, same thing. It's such an old game, easy to run. PUBG, I used to benchmark it, but I guess when I benchmark, I pretty much choose, except for Apex and stuff. What are my standard benchmarking suite right now? Last of Us. I know not many people are probably playing Last of Us, but it is one of the hardest games to run right now. Hogwarts Legacy. Forza is pretty easy to run, but it's still a pretty relevant game. Starfield was added to my benchmarking suite recently. I do Diablo 4 because I like Diablo personally, and it's a newer AAA game. What else is in my suite? Oh, I do Halo Infinite because it's a game that I personally play, and it's free, and it's pretty graphics intensive. Older systems can't run it too well. I took Grand Theft Auto 5 out just because for benchmarking, Grand Theft Auto 5, with all the load times and stuff, is the most annoying thing to load into and try to get multiple runs on. So that's my reason. I'll get to Scott's question next, but that's my reason, Demon Mint. If it can run the hardest to run games, it's going to be able to run the top 20 games no problem. There are specific channels that do focus on the top 20 games with older low-end hardware, and I think that's the only time you care about that hardware. To target them for views? I mean, I don't know. Fortnite is also usually part of my benchmarking suite, and Fortnite is what is the most popular game right now? Is it Fortnite, Minecraft, one of those two? If I had to guess. But yeah. It's just, you can only, first of all, I usually benchmark multiple sets of hardware at the same also. So the time it takes to benchmark, to set up the benchmarks, to get the settings for the games, it's just like, you can only test so many games, and I would rather test. See, for me, I think it's more interesting to see like, let's just say Optiplex system with a graphics card thrown in with 7-year-old hardware that could still run Cyberpunk at some settings at 45 FPS. To me, that is more intriguing than watching it run CSGO at 150 FPS, because we all know CSGO is freaking easy to run. So, yeah. Yeah, and Spider-Man. Cyberpunk and Spider-Man are also part of my benchmarking suite. Yes. Because those are all hard to run games. When I build when I build cheaper, lower-end systems, my thing is, I like throwing modern games at them and seeing how horribly they run or how surprisingly decent they run. So, yeah. Okay, Scott's question is, I built a Dell Optiplex 5050 that has an i7 7700 in it, okay, 16 gigs of RAM, and an EVGA 1660 Super, 2TB M.2 for $300. That's a really good system. For $300 you can't complain about that. Like, I think the 2TB M.2 is already, if you buy it new, is already around like $70 right now. 1660 Super, those are still going for a decent amount with the Optiplex and RAM. I mean, at $300, that is gonna perform really well. I'm just not a fan of anything. I guess I'm kind of okay with 8th and 9th gen Intel, just because on those ones for the i5s, but those don't have hyper-threading. They increased the core count and the i7s. They increased the core count, but if you, like, I would usually prefer to go to the 10th gen, but I know that's going to take a big price increase because that's when they threw in hyper-threading for like the i3s and i5s. But yeah, that's really good value. What's the Optiplex 5050 even look like? Optiplex 5050. Okay. Was it a slim tower by chance? Was it a slim tower or like a kind of full width tower? So you didn't have to use a slim card. I guess, I'm not even sure if they made 1660 Super slim. Mini tower? Okay, yeah, the mini towers were always my go-to as well. So Demon says, yeah, I know it takes a time of benchmark, but so from a business perspective, you think it would draw more clicks and views. Okay. The thing is, though, people, from what I've seen, they look more for gaming PC at specific price range. Then they gotta go into the video and watch it to find out what is being benchmarked. I guess when new games come out, some creators also lean into that and do like Starfield PC for $400 because it's like the new game out and people care about it. But like to do a PC, to do right now, like $700 budget PC, and then put Counter-Strike Go, Dota, and stuff in the title, which is what's going to be part of the SEO and what people search for. I don't think people are searching for that. I think they're searching for a $700 PC and maybe newer games, but I mean, and maybe like Minecraft, but yeah, for like CSGO and Dota 2 and stuff like that, I wouldn't think that would drive more clicks. With YouTube titles with YouTube titles and thumbnails, it's risky, right? Putting Dota or CSGO on that and the title, for me, I've always followed the rule of short and sweet titles. Because you don't want it to cut off on mobile, you don't want it to cut off, once it gets too long, you don't see the full title. So just adding anything aside from like the price and then a descriptor of the PC, especially like if you're only going to talk about CSGO or Dota when you tested like 20 games, I don't know. For me, that it never clicked in my mind to do that. It would be worth testing? Oh man, I don't know. You should ask Zach or someone else to do that. I don't know. Actually, I'm curious. You should ask like Zach, Toasty Bros, whoever else you have, you're in contact with or in the Discord servers. I'm curious to hear their opinions because I don't think this is something that we've talked about, honestly. Well, no, but you were talking about more clicks and views, Demon Mitt. Part of clicks and views, in my mind, means that someone out there, there's a specific audience looking for that. And the only way they're going to find it, if it's in the description, even though not really a description these days, it's title and thumbnail. But yeah, like how are they going to find it? So for me, I like to keep it vague. And if anything, they have to watch the video through to find out what's being benchmarked. So at least they got to give it some watch time instead of just completely skipping over it because it says Starfield instead of CSGO or something. But yeah, YouTube is a tricky beast. It is. I don't even have all the answers to it. You could say that I suck at YouTube compared to, the biggest channels. But I guess one way to answer your question is, if you look at the most successful benchmarking channels or the most successful PC building channels that, LTT, Jay, Paul, Gamers Nexus, stuff like that. I know Gamers Nexus made or is it Hardware Unboxed made like a 50 graphics card CSGO test video, but that's a one-off. They typically do not specify, or do they even test CSGO, and I would say they're a successful channel. So try to find the most successful channel that does benchmark the most popular games, and see if you could find a channel that is thriving. And if not, maybe you could be that channel because it is an open market for yours for the taking. Yeah, so I do COD, I do COD, I don't do Baldur's Gate, I do Cyberpunk. Are they in the top 20? Let me see. 20. Let's take a look at this list. Top 20. We got Warframe. You're going to notice a large trend. A lot of, I would say probably half of these games are probably free, huh? So we got Warframe at number 20. Destiny 2, which is now free. Rust, which is not free. Cyberpunk, not free. Wallpaper Engine. How much does this cost? I don't have Wallpaper Engine. Do they show the cost? No. How do I go to the page? Go to the page. I don't think Wallpaper Engine is free though. Unturned. I think Unturned is free, right? It's kind of like a zombie Roblox style looking graphics game. Rainbow Six Siege. Grand Theft Auto was free at one point. War Thunder's free. Call of Duty, the game modes that are leading to the peak player count, I think is free. The Battle Royale mode. Lost Ark is free. Ark Survival, did that go free somewhat recently? Or am I remembering that wrong? PUBG, I don't think that's free right now. Team Fortress, but I think these are cheap. The finals. This is only recently though. I just realized we're looking at like what, 24-hour peaks. First of all, the finals. This game looks pretty interesting. It's like a 2 or 3v4 team match with parkour and stuff like that. Yeah, this game looked pretty interesting. I probably should have filtered it some other way so it's not just the last 24 hours. But Counter-Strike and Dota are free. Baldur's Gate is not. Apex is free. So yeah, like half of them were free. Oh, this is an interesting question. Let's see what chat thinks, and I will answer myself too. Games we love RA. Should I upgrade my R5 2600X or RTX 2060 Super first? Danny. Can I ask you what resolution you're playing at and what games you're playing? I'm tempted. Oh, man. I mean, this was a good pairing of parts at the time. So, like, they're both due for an upgrade, but I usually like pushing your CPU as far as you can. Like, let's see. Did you answer the question yet? Yeah, and all you would need, if you want to go to 5600, you would just need a BIOS update. Yes. So make sure to BIOS update before you take the 2600 out. Yeah. So you're playing 1440p Witcher and Elden Ring. Well, Elden Ring is capped at 60 FPS. Witcher 3, they recently did like the not the refresh, but they had a big update on it, right? Like a graphics update overhaul. Maybe not overhaul, but a graphics update, let's just say. For 1440p, I'm thinking you're gonna see more of a performance boost by just upgrading the GPU. They both will eventually get upgrades, but for 1440p, I'm thinking. But you're playing Elden Ring. You don't need more than 60 FPS. Witcher 3, you could get more. I'm going to answer it like this. You're going to see more gains, more of a performance boost in terms of FPS out of a graphics card upgrade, especially if you're at 1440p. If you upgrade your CPU, I'm sure you'll see a little bit of an improvement, but I don't think anything you're doing is super bottlenecking your CPU in gaming. $2600X bottlenecks a lot of modern GPUs. Well, you're going to get a bottleneck either way. You could say the 2060 bottlenecks. We're not talking about, we're not avoiding a bottleneck here. If you're buying only one thing, you are going to get a bottleneck. If you throw a 5800X3D in there right now, that thing is going to be bottlenecked by the 2060 in terms of gaming. So you're going to get a bottleneck either way. The way I answered it was, which one are you going to see a higher, like a increase in performance? You're going to get an increase in performance whether or not you upgrade the CPU or GPU, but which one is going to let you like average higher? I want to play more AAA games coming out like Avatar and Star Wars Survivor. I mean, honestly, let me see. Let's take a look. Let's just take a look at some numbers. We're going to look at benchmarks. Yeah, okay. So one good way to look at this is, let's see, 2600X versus 3600 versus 5600. I'm just choosing whatever, you know, modern Ryzen 5s. Here we go. Ancient gameplays. Here we go. This is a good ancient gameplays. Okay, we can trust ancient. Okay, let's see. What graphics card is... Oh, he's using a 5700X? No. We need a better graphics card. He's using a 5700X. We need something that will for sure force a bottleneck more. There are rumors... What? WoW coming to Xbox? No way. I think WoW coming to Game Pass so that the subscription is bundled. But to play on a controller? I don't think so. I'll believe it when I see it. Here we go. Testing games, another reliable benchmarker. Okay, what are we doing? So Cyberpunk. Okay. So this is a 3080. Crap, this is not gonna answer the question though. With the 20, because this is using a much more powerful card than the 2060. What, and also what resolution is this? Does this person say? Oh, they show the settings at the beginning. Yeah, this is at 1080p, so this is tougher because all these numbers are going to be much lower and a little bit closer together. Yeah, once you go to 1440p, you do squish it a little bit. So let me see if I can find 1440p benchmarks. Ancient gameplays. Why did you test at 4K with the wait, did he change graphics cards actually? No, he kept it with the 5700 XT even at the 4K. Why? RTX 4090 trashes old CPUs. Here we go. All right, what are we looking for here? 2600X. Okay, that's versus a 7600X though, in 1440p. GPU utilization. No, we're looking for FPS here, not just utilization, because game optimization affects that too. 56. Okay, we want the 2600X specifically. Oh, here we go. Tech deals. Would a 10, wait, Slick Nick, your question, would it be bottlenecked by a 4060 or will it be a bottleneck to the 4060? Either way, 10400 and 4060, I think that's a fine combination of parts. I don't think there's any crazy bottlenecking going on there. I do not, my eyebrow does not raise when I hear someone has a 4060 with a 10400. Okay, here we go. Cyberpunk, what are we looking at here? 3090 Ti, DDR5, okay, or DDR4. Okay, so we're gonna ignore 7600 and maybe 13600K results. What resolution is this? 1080p high, okay. Does he do 1440p as well? So here's the hard part about finding this is anytime you look for GPU benchmarks, or not GPU, CPU benchmarks, almost all the testers online are going to test it at 1080, even some people do it at 720p, because that forces the bottleneck onto the CPU. When you go up in resolution, you do relieve some of it. I'm trying to find out what that some of it is to see what it is, because, wait, were you actually considering, because you have a 2600X, how much do you have to spend? I guess I should ask that question first. Because I think Demon mentioned a 5800X, but I don't know if you're trying to even spend that much right now. If you have under 200 bucks, 5600X would be the perfect thing to slot into there. Or even 5800X if you want to go used market. 5800X is surprisingly, I was able to get one for 140 or 150 in the used market, but I mean, let me look at the lowest price. And, oh man, they went up in price. Yeah, I got one for like, I think 150. It was definitely a one-off one, dang. Yeah, I mean, it's either going to be like something like this. If you're sub 200, you're thinking 5800X or 5600, 5600X, depending on. Nice, Shauner. You got a 5700X for 100? Nice. You have 150 to 200 bucks? Yeah, so it's up to you. Let's see what the, I think it's 140 right now, right? For Ryzen 5600. Is it 140 or 150? Oh, they're 132. And then what about the X? So we're 132 versus, oh, 150. Yeah, so between these two, the 5600 would be the better buy. Yeah, you're talking about $26 increase. That's almost a 20. That's like a what? A little bit less than 20% increase in price for not 20, nowhere close to 20% increase in performance. Just more headroom if you do care about overclocking, I guess. Was local? Not. Oh yeah, yeah. Because 100 bucks for 5700X seems way too cheap for the likes of eBay. $5,700X is 152 on AliExpress. Let's take a look. AliExpress, the best place to buy used PC CPUs. 5700X. Let's take a look at this. Man, I swear, AliExpress is becoming like Temu now. I used to not get these pop-ups every time I go to AliExpress. Which, by the way, I do have a Temu video coming up at some point. And can I probe you guys for your thoughts on Temu? I've been seeing some other creators make Temu-related videos. and they get a lot of hate in the comments about like Temu being an unethical company and things like that. And I'm sure there's truth to it, but you could say, I think, the same thing or similar things about AliExpress. You can even probably say similar things about Amazon, and I'm pretty sure most people in the US use or have used Amazon and don't even give a second thought about it. But yeah, with regards to Temu, I'm doing the video because I think it's interesting, just like PC stuff that you can find on Temu, but I'm just curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Temu seems very scammy. Temu, I mean, Temu, how do I explain it based on my own understanding? You can find Temu is like a offspring of both Wish and AliExpress in one. Because they do have some really cheap stuff that is complete garbage. But the reason I'm going to do the Temu video is because I'm trying to find stuff that you can actually use and actually go over my user experience with it. But, yeah. AliExpress is, yeah, I mean, AliExpress, just by alone based on like inventory that they have, Temu, and I'll talk about it in the video, is very limited at the moment anyways with how much they have for PC components. It is very bare. You can build a whole PC on AliExpress. You cannot build a whole PC on Temu because you can't find CPUs on there. There's like 3 GPUs on there and they're like GT 710s. So yeah, it is very limited. So I'll talk about all that is what I'm planning on doing, but yeah. You don't want an AliExpress knockoff because AliExpress is already a knockoff. Wait. We can't call AliExpress a knockoff if you can find legitimate Ryzen 5700Xs on it, okay? How are you going to call this website a knockoff when they're selling legitimate AMD and Intel CPUs? Let me go back. Okay, we're going to go from lowest price. The lowest one I could find is $152 with free shipping and buyer protection. But I'm not going to get it till November 27th. That's almost 4 weeks away. That's like a little bit under 4 weeks. Where are eBay 5700X is going for? Because at some point, you just pay a little bit more and you get it next week. Let me see. Not ending soonest, lowest first. Okay, buy it now. I mean, and we got it from sellers that look like they're legit. 158 versus 152. Which one are you guys going with, honestly? Also, I don't know about AliExpress buyer protection. What would you guys be more comfortable with? And would you spend $6 extra for eBay/PayPal buyer protection over AliExpress? Mr. Guillotine, your birthday is November 27th? Happy early birthday. Unless you come around when we stream around November 27th and you say it's close to your birthday, I'll say happy birthday then too. There are also some days, okay, there are, I'm just saying though, price-wise, even if it was 11-day shippers, let's assume 11 days then and not 4 weeks. What are you guys going for? The 152 AliExpress 11-day or the likely 1 week eBay? Yeah, I mean, there's multiple. 158, 160. Wow, this one has free, free shipping. Buy it now. I mean, look at these sellers, man. 99% with 15,000 sales. It's K today says, I ordered a 5700X off eBay, says it boots to BIOS, but not into Windows. Rolling the dice, got it for 100. The seller had 100% feedback though. Okay, seller could have 100% feedback and also sell exactly what they have listed. So you're gonna try to troubleshoot that? Oh man, what are you gonna do if it doesn't work? Be out $100 or are you gonna try to get a return? I would think someone selling something like this, I would think someone selling this is going to say no returns because they don't want their time wasted. What do you think? I think if someone has tested it and seen that it boots the BIOS, but not into Windows, and they couldn't figure it out, if they're a power seller with 100% feedback, I don't know. I take that back. Because some people don't have the time to troubleshoot more than that, and they would rather get some money for it. But I don't know. I think I would not have risked $100 on this, especially if it says no returns. And if you do try to get a return, I don't know how they're going to treat it because the seller sold it as is. You can't just buy as is 4-part stuff, can't get it to work, and just try to return it all the time. If anything, that's kind of a scummy move. Like, people sold as is because of what it is, and then you're going to try to waste your time with returns and try to fight to get a refund back and waste, you know, money and packaging and stuff, shipping it back and forth. There is no returns. I mean, yeah, technically, yeah. It's more like hassle-free return versus hassle returns, right? Tech Deals has been selling on eBay for 20 years and no returns isn't a thing. I could believe him on that. Okay, so I think what no returns is more of how many people can I try to convince that there's no return so that they don't even attempt to get their money back, right? Because there's always going to be a way for everything. If it isn't as described, I'm sending it back. If they told you it had a problem and you still bought it, well, you just paid $100 to learn a lesson. This is what I'm thinking right here. I'm thinking you read it. They laid out the whole plan for you of what this thing can do and what it can't do. So unless you get it and it can't boot into BIOS, then maybe I would feel a different way about you trying to return it. But if you bought it knowingly to gamble, you trying to return or get your refund on a gamble, to me, that is like bad manner. That is not good karma coming your way. That's like trying to buy a scratch ticket, not getting what you wanted scratched off, and then trying to get a refund. You went in knowing it's a gamble. It's only a gamble if you risk losing money. If you knew you were gonna refund from the bat, it's not even a gamble then. It would be kind of crappy to try to return it ethically. Exactly. 7:15 my time alert. Thank you for the heads up. It is about dinner time. What am I gonna eat for dinner? What are you guys gonna eat for dinner, actually? For some of you, it's probably like 10 p.m. Eastern time. You probably already had dinner. We just made some chicken stock last night, so I'm probably gonna make some chicken pho. We boiled the whole chicken, and we have pho noodles on hand like all the time. We always have cilantro and green onions, so I'm gonna make some chicken pho. Pork chops. I could have bought a lottery ticket for $100. You could have. You could have bought many things for $100. Motherboard, where are you from where it's morning? Nope. No, it's not a... I've had this happen before. One of the CPU that I bought for my brother-in-law, the 13700K, it was able to boot into BIOS just fine. It could install Windows just fine. Once Windows was installed, when it actually tried to get into Windows to finish the installation, Windows 10 and Windows 11, because I tried both, it would crash every single time. I tried multiple different SSDs. I tried both fresh installations and remaking Windows Media boot drives. I got on customer support with Intel, couldn't figure it out. They sent me a replacement CPU. I don't know what was wrong with it. It was the first time I've ever run into that issue before. It was weird. Chicken and biscuits with gravy for dinner. Nice. Nacho Bel Grande. Pork chops for Mr. Guillotine. Hi Ka says, I am using a 13600KF with a 2080 1080p gaming GPU upgrade. Dude, the 2080 is still really good. But the 13600KF is, you could run a higher graphics card if you want. When people ask what their GPU upgrade should be, I get kind of confused because I would assume you have a reasonable amount of money that you're not gonna be looking for like a 4090, right? So like, let's say you have $500, $600, $700, $800. Buy the best graphics card for that price range, and it's gonna be fine with a 13600 KF. Even if you went up to like a $800 or $750, whatever, 4070 Ti, you don't have to worry about really bottlenecking issues. So I don't know how much you have to spend because you didn't specify, so I can't answer that question, but buy the most you are willing to afford. And I kind of doubt that you're going to be going for a 4080 or 4090 because you're asking that question. I think most people who have 4080, 4090 money, they just kind of just buy it without giving much thought to it. Was it CMOS battery? I tried it in actually 3 different motherboards. 3 different motherboards that I knew were working because I had other i5s and i3s in it working. I'm telling you. Oh wait, what else did other people say? Unstable, could it be? Yep, I tried BIOS updates. I tried like 3 different BIOS updates. I tried every single thing that I could. I wasted so much time trying to get that i7 to work. For me, it was the chip. When you put it into like multiple working computers and all you did was change the CPU and it still has the same problem, I'm going to blame it on the chip. I'm not going to blame it on the motherboard. I'm not going to blame it on the BIOS, especially when I tried multiple BIOS. I'm not going to blame it on the Windows install, the SSD. I'm blaming it on the chip. Travis Shanafelt says, what are my thoughts on the handheld gaming market? Are we talking about, we're talking about handheld PCs, right? Not handheld consoles like Switches. We're talking about practice. No, we're talking about like the ROG Ally and Steam Deck and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly, Star. You can only try so many things. So here's the thing. I am fortunate enough where I do have extra hardware on hand that I can do that. Imagine running into that situation and only having your one PC that isn't even up and running yet because that processor was meant for the PC that you were going to use. Imagine trying to go through tech support on Discord or Reddit or something like that. People are going to give you so many different instructions and pull you so many different ways when at the end of the day, if it is ending up being the chip, it's like such a big headache. Yeah, Allen Iverson, exactly, practice. We're talking about handheld gaming computers though, right? Yeah, so my thoughts on, yeah, then the Legion Go, for me, it's kind of like, I think it's kind of like VR. I don't want to use the word gimmicky. Jason would be so mad at me if I use the word gimmicky. But I think it's niche. How about we use the word niche? I think handheld gaming PCs are still early on in their life cycle where like maybe people are hesitant to buy it. I'm personally not interested in it at all. We've talked about this in previous streams before. Like if I'm doing something where I want to be entertained mobily, I use my phone. Or I'll have a laptop. Like when we went to Japan and back, or like Thailand and stuff like that, I had my laptop. I was either editing or I played single player games on it, on the plane. I think handheld gaming PCs are still, for me, it's too limited, the use case. It is like being able, it's like a Switch replacement, except you can play PC games on it, which I want more out of that when I have what is considered to be a computer. So I'm personally not interested in it, but I am happy to see that more companies are coming out with it. And, you know, it's another option for people to get into gaming, which is always a good thing. And it's affordable too, right? Like the Steam Deck, if you get one used, or even the new ones, are pretty dang affordable to get people into PC gaming. So more gateways into the hobby, I'm always happy for. But for me, I'm personally have not been. I'm more interested in getting a new VR headset than I am like a handheld PC console or a handheld PC, not console. Casey says, Danny, Casey, where are you at? First of all, this is a generous offer. You could cater some barbecue food, been smoking meat since you're 7 and now you're 30. Are you in Washington State? I don't know, man. Catering for the amount of people we have and as much as we eat, it's a big task. It's a big ask. Also, so the thing about the LAN parties is, though, we try to do the food on a budget too. Each person only pays in like 20 to 30 bucks for a whole weekend's worth of food, right? We're talking breakfast, lunch, and dinner covered for pretty much 3 days for $30. So the way that we do the food, and for smoked meats, that would be, I would just imagine that would cost too much. That's why we don't go and eat out during the LAN parties. The amount of money that you could spend on one meal eating out during a LAN party, we could cook like 2 homemade meals. 2 or 3 actually, depending on how budget we go. So yeah, as much as I am thankful for like this type of an offer, I don't know if I could take you up on it. Poop Lord. What's up, Poop Lord? This is, I must say, and it's because I am very immature. Poop Lord, it's not even immature. It's for some reason this name. It just reads so well off the tongue. Poop Lord. My problem with handheld gaming PCs is they are too compromised and expensive at the same time. What is your definition of compromised? Oh, you mean like you have to make too many compromises or give too much up while paying kind of a premium? Is that, or do you mean by compromise like no virus protection? Like what do you mean? I'm assuming it's the first one. Like you have to make too many compromises with like lower resolution, lower frame rates, loud fan, battery life. That's what I think you're trying to say. That food budget does include the Domino's and Pizza Hut delivery, and it's because we use them coupons. And honestly, even if pizza costs 8 or 9 or 10 bucks a pizza, that could feed like 3 people. So that's like $3 a meal per person. So pizza, even if it is starting to get more expensive, is still pretty cheap. Costco is the best pizza deal, but Costco pizza, I'm just so over burnt cheese and boring pepperoni. I need some more toppings on my pizza. That's why we don't do Costco pizza that often anymore. Like, we need more variety. Costco, bring back the combination, please. You've done weddings for 200 people? Dang, it's your dream to run a business and your own restaurant? Yeah, I mean, you just got to keep doing it as this kind of side hustle, you know, but make sure you get paid when you do it, and then the word spreads. That's how I would think you would organically grow a business like that. Yeah, catering side gigs. If you just got to keep at it. Nothing, I mean, some stuff grows huge over, like, blows up quickly, but most people's experiences of successfully growing a business takes time. Costco brand pizza is made at best. Some of the frozen stuff they carry is good. It is good. We can't do the frozen stuff because, I mean, we're not trying to cook 8 pizzas in the single oven that all of our houses have. But yeah, the Costco pizza from the food court, to me, it's just like, it's the value play. On a scale of 10, I give it a 7.5. I don't think it's like the best pizza out there, but for $2 a slice that's that big, it's some crazy price to calories and taste. Why not? Dude, Mod's Pizza is so expensive. If you want to do a personal Mod Pizza, it's going to be like 10 bucks a head. Minimum. It's probably closer to 12 or 13 where I am. I do like Mod's Pizza. Wait, does Mods do non-personal pizzas? I thought they only did personal pizzas. Before any of that though, as we keep talking about food and pizzas and stuff like that, I am going to have to end the stream in the next 10, or let's say 10 minutes. So at 35. Just because we are kind of running over time, but chat's still going and we do have a natural flowing conversation going, so I don't want to just cut it off abruptly. Yeah, no, mod pizza, let me see. Mod pizza price. I like mods though. So I like places where you can build your own pizza because I like, I like pesto, I like garlic, I like jalapenos, I like onions, I like bell peppers. I like tons of different toppings on my pizza. But, with the other places, you're kind of limited. Otherwise, they charge you like crazy for additional toppings. And with mod pizza, it's just not a good value play. Seattle prices. Let me see if I can find one. Mod pricing. What is this? Seattle prices. Is there any pictures? Mod. Okay, let's take a look at. This might not even be in Seattle, but depending on where you live, it might be more or less expensive. Oh my gosh. I'm just trying to find a picture of the menu with the price on it. Mobile cuisine. We're talking about, like, you need an 11-inch pizza to, like, get decently full. Yeah, I can see it right here. It's $10.85. I'm pretty sure it's more expensive at my local mods. Banamique. I've actually never been to that Brooklyn Bros. Wait, I thought Brooklyn Brothers was in Mukilteo. Is there two of them? Brooklyn Brothers Pizza. Oh, there is two. Yeah, so the one that I drive by often because of where I live is this one right here in kind of on the way to Mukilteo, the ferry. But I didn't even know there was one in Mill Creek. Okay. Wait, Vanna, where are you from? You must be local if you're talking about Mill Creek, or you used to live here and you moved away. Garlic, butter, and Parmesan. Yes, the whole thing. Yeah, that's dude. Butter and garlic, anything, is like my favorite food. You stay in Linwood, dude. You're like so local to me. Yeah, I mean we probably live within a 5-mile radius of each other. I always love seeing. I hope you enjoy the content whenever I'm out and about driving and like you can see local landmarks that you recognize. I love like finding out that some of the viewers are local. I don't do meetups though, just because the whole like being a content creator and then like it's not that I'm against meetups, but like in public places or like conventions I'm cool with it and stuff like that. But just on a more personal level and privacy reasons, like I haven't ever done like a public meetup locally. Probably because there's not that many viewers that live nearby, but also for like just privacy reasons. But thank you for the support, and you say you love the content. Yeah, thanks for the kind words. Costco food value is amazing. Dude, the hot dogs. Okay, so the hot dogs to me are still kind of plain. So what I do is we go to Costco, we do our shopping, we get the hot dog, then we take it. We don't eat at the food court usually if we get the hot dog. We take it home, I grill some onions, I put some like Parmesan or mozzarella cheese on it, cut up some bell peppers or jalapenos. I dress up the hot dog because the plain hot dog is pretty boring. But for $1.50 for the hot dog and drink, and you take it home and just put whatever is in your refrigerator on it, oh, so good. Jim's in Edmonds is good too. By the way, local. Oh, VTX sex. Is that supposed to say sexy or SX? VTS XEY. Jim's in Edmonds is great too. Okay, I gotta check that one out. Jim's. The Brooklyn Brothers in Mukilteo, the reviews have said that like the service has gone down in quality and the prices have gone up. But that might just be a common complaint nowadays with food in general. Oh, garlic Jim's. That's what you mean by. I missed the garlic. Yes, garlic Jim's. I've had garlic Jim's a few times. It's pretty good, but again, for some reason my heart is with Domino's. I don't know why, man. It's just their crust. Their hand-tossed crust is so good to me. Okay, Demon Mint. If your brain is hurt, go look. Oh, stream submissions. Demon Mint, I totally forgot to look at your stream submissions. Sorry for that. Stream submissions channel. What do we got here? So Zotac. So you did this. What is this build? Crap. I gotta log on to Discord because I did not do that for the private browser today yet. Discord. So let me do that. Come on. This is why some people shouldn't build their PCs. They plugged... Okay. Funny story about this. There are plenty of things in computers that seem to be able to fit into certain slots. Like, there's like 3-pin things, 4-pin things that fit together but are not meant to be plugged together. And I know from first-hand experience, because I've done this accidentally on one of my earliest builds like over 10 years ago. And I fried a motherboard doing that. So I have my own personal horror stories, and I shared that in a video on the channel before, actually, my biggest PC mistake, building mistake. But, yeah, let me open this up so we can zoom in more. So, yeah, they plugged it into the SATA power connector. What was supposed to go into an M.2 slot. One reason to always read the manual. The manual doesn't tell you what to do with your power supply. And I feel like... Okay. I feel like power supply... Let me see. Do I have a power supply manual laying around? It would probably take me some time to find it. Dang it. I don't know. This is something that, like... I think you would have to go and look up videos for... Or, like, written text guides. Because... I don't think power supply manuals tell you where to plug everything. Like, the power supply manual and the motherboard manual and, like, the graphics card manual, I don't think they all show you how to build a computer. They just have warranty information and specs and stuff like that. So, yeah. Thanks for the time warning. We got a couple of minutes left before we finish this off. But, yeah, oof. This is a big oof right here. Oof, yeah. Is this the computer that you were working on, Demon Mint? Was everything else working? Let me see. I'm assuming this is the computer that you're working on. They must... Yeah, it does look like it fit, I bet, because it's fitting in your hand right there, somewhat. But, yeah. I mean, did only that cable, or did only that connector and the drive got damaged? Is the power supply still fine? Is everything else still fine? Oh, it's unrelated? Wait, what do you mean by it's unrelated? So you did not, wait, where are we going here? Was that not what you wanted me to click on? Ping the wrong person. The photo, it's from Reddit. Oh, yeah. Just thought it was funny. Okay, gotcha. I mean... What? It doesn't say what size that drive is, does it? The computer might still work at the end of the day. I mean, it might have been a mistake, but you have, multiple SATA connectors, power connectors, and then SSDs aren't that cheap. This could very well be, like, maybe this could be like a $50 or $30, $40 mistake. Let's assume this is like a 1 terabyte drive, so let's say 40 bucks. And let's just assume this connector is now ruined, but the rest of it is fine. It could have been a relatively cheap mistake, even though it looks pretty bad. It depends on what happened with the rest of the system and the power supply when this happened. So, yeah. Okay, y'all. it is time to end the stream. Thank you everybody for a very successful, very lively stream. Pretty much, I feel like I was going at 100 miles an hour the entire time. There was never like a quiet, dull moment. We were jumping from conversation to conversation, topic to topic. And it took us a whole hour until we got into the conversation of too cheap for building a gaming PC. And that's a topic that we could just talk about forever. We only hit on half of it, by the way. There's one thing to talk about how cheap of a low-cost budget gaming PC that you can go. There's also another is how old of components, which is also a factor in the lower price, right? And we didn't really get to talk to that, but maybe we can do that next week along with some other topics. By the way, Discord is down below in the description. It's depending on the time of the week. It's activity is like up and down and stuff like that. But if you guys have stuff that you want to talk about or bring into stream, feel free to just, again, put it into the stream submissions channel. We have this channel on the server called Stream Submissions. My face is blocking it, but it's called Stream Submissions. I mean, this Demon Mitt is very familiar with it. Other frequent viewers of the stream is very familiar with it. You can put it in here, or you can put different topics you would like for us to talk together at, as a group on, and that could be a future stream. Because a lot of the times, the streams, I just let chat dictate it. Like, right? What do you guys want to talk about? Who cares what I want to talk about? I get to make videos about what I want to do. But if you guys want to talk about certain stuff on certain streams, for sure, leave it in there. And remind me, too, once stream starts, because I'm a forgetful person, remind me, hey, I asked this question or I wanted to talk about this topic, and then I'll either address it and we can go into it. But yeah, hope you guys had a safe Halloween. Have a great rest of your evening or day, and have a great rest of your week and weekend coming up. Trying to get a video about my build update out this weekend, but I'm pushing it kind of close because we have like some stuff going on, family stuff, and just other in real life responsibilities, as well as WoW Hardcore. Oh my God, that is taking up. I am addicted again. But yeah, I'm trying to get that video out as well as other shorts content out by the end of the week. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, have a great rest of your night, everyone, and I will see you in the next content piece that drops, whenever that may be. Take care.